Scientists just uncovered cut marks on a 21,000-year-old fossil that completely destroys everything we thought we knew about early humans in the Americas. These aren't random scratches, but precise, deliberate marks left by stone tools on the bones of a Neosclerocalyptus, a 660-pound armored beast discovered along the banks of the Reconquista River in Argentina's Pampean region. The discovery pushes back human presence in South America by thousands of years, shattering the established Clovis First theory. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. Our ancestors weren't just surviving alongside these massive armored giants, they were systematically hunting and butchering them with nothing but primitive stone tools. To understand just how remarkable this achievement was, you need to know exactly what kind of creature they were facing. Picture a creature that survived for 30 million years using nothing but armor as its primary defense strategy. During the Pleistocene epoch, South America was home to nature's ultimate defensive experiment, the Glyptodon. These remarkable animals represented evolution's most ambitious attempt at creating an indestructible herbivore, one that could graze peacefully while surrounded by some of the most dangerous predators ever to walk the earth. While some Glyptodonts measured roughly the same dimensions as a Volkswagen Beetle, the specific species involved in this discovery, Neosclerocalyptus, was a more compact but still formidable version of these armored giants. Stretching about 6 feet from nose to tail and weighing approximately 1,660 pounds, these creatures were essentially miniature tanks compared to modern animals. Their bulk alone was intimidating, but their true marvel lay in their extraordinary protective shell. The engineering behind Glyptodon armor defied belief. Over 1,000 hexagonal osteoderms, bony plates, fused together, formed a rigid dome that covered their entire back and sides. Each osteoderm interlocked with its neighbors in a precise geometric pattern, creating a surface as smooth as it was impenetrable. The thickness of this natural armor reached 2 inches in some areas, exceeding the protective capacity of modern military body armor by a considerable margin. Their defensive capabilities extended beyond the main carapace. The Glyptodon's skull sat protected beneath a bony helmet called a cephalic shield, while its tail was encased in an armored caudal tube that, along with the heavily protected pelvis, formed virtually impenetrable barriers around the most vital areas of its anatomy. This armor made them nearly invulnerable to the apex predators of their time. Saber-toothed cats, giant bears, and terror birds found themselves powerless against such comprehensive protection. The Glyptodon could simply lower its head and wait out any attack secure within its biological fortress. For 30 million years, this approach proved flawless across the harsh, semi-dry climates of the Pleistocene, allowing them to thrive across South America without fear. How do you prove that humans butchered a creature 21,000 years ago without finding a single stone tool? The answer lies in the fossilized bones themselves. And at the CRS-10 site on the banks of the Reconquista River in Argentina, Dr. Mariano del Papa and his team from the National University of La Plata uncovered evidence that would shake archaeology to its core. The discovery centered on a single Neosclerocalyptus specimen. But what made this find extraordinary were the 32 distinct linear marks carved into its ancient bones. Each mark displayed the characteristic V-shaped cross-section that researchers recognize as the signature of stone tool use, distinctly different from the U-shaped marks left by carnivore teeth or rodent gnawing. The precision of these cuts stood in stark contrast to the jagged, irregular damage typically left by natural weathering processes. The research team employed cutting-edge 3D scanning technology to document every millimeter of these marks, creating detailed digital models that allowed for unprecedented analysis. Statistical methods helped distinguish these deliberate cuts from the random scratches and gouges that accumulate on bones over millennia. The V-shaped profile, consistent depth, and clean edges all pointed to one conclusion: these marks came from human-made stone tools. Crucially, the bones had been buried rapidly after death, providing evidence that the marks were not the result of natural weathering or post-depositional trampling. Yet controversy emerged from what the site didn't contain. No lithic artifacts accompanied the bones, raising skepticism among some archaeologists who expected to find the actual tools used in the butchering process. This absence created what researchers called a red flag, though it didn't invalidate the evidence already present on the bones themselves. Radiocarbon dating of a pelvic bone fragment provided the timeline that stunned the scientific community. The results placed the specimen between 21,090 and 2811 years before present, pushing back evidence of human presence in southern South America by nearly 6,000 years. The strategic placement of these cut marks revealed remarkable sophistication. They concentrated on the pelvis and tail areas, representing nearly 70% of the animal's muscle mass, where dense muscle packs would have provided the richest meat sources. This wasn't random scavenging, but deliberate butchery that demonstrated intimate knowledge of Glyptodon anatomy. The sequence of cuts showed that early humans understood exactly where to target their stone tools for maximum caloric return. Taking down a creature protected by armor thicker than modern military equipment using only stone tools required extraordinary human ingenuity. Early humans faced an unprecedented challenge when confronting these living fortresses, but they approached it with methodical precision that would define our species' survival capabilities. The solution likely lay in understanding anatomy with surgical accuracy. While the Glyptodon's carapace provided comprehensive protection, several critical areas may have remained exposed during normal movement. The neck region, where the massive head extended beyond the shell's edge, hypothetically offered access to vital arteries and dense muscle tissue. The pelvis area, where powerful leg muscles attached beneath the armor's rim, presented another potential target rich in meat and nutrients. These anatomical vulnerabilities would have become the focal points of human hunting strategy. The proposed hunting method involved coordinated group tactics that exploited the Glyptodon's fundamental weaknesses. Teams of hunters likely worked together to herd these massive creatures into the swamps and marshlands common along riverbank locations like the Reconquista site, where their already limited mobility would become a fatal disadvantage. The Glyptodon's restricted field of vision, caused by their low-slung posture and armored head positioning, prevented it from tracking multiple attackers simultaneously. The systematic harvesting revealed remarkable sophistication. The V-shaped cut marks found on fresh bone indicate that butchering happened immediately after the kill, while the animal was still fresh, countering theories of random scavenging. Stone implements needed sufficient sharpness and durability to penetrate thick hide protecting soft tissue areas. The precision of cuts demonstrates these tools were crafted with specific anatomical targets in mind. The caloric rewards justified enormous effort. A single successful hunt provided thousands of pounds of meat, enough to sustain entire groups for weeks during harsh Ice Age winters. The massive protein and fat reserves proved crucial for survival in demanding environments where plant foods were scarce, especially during the last glacial maximum. Keichi humans were actively colonizing Argentina's Pampean region under the coldest and harshest conditions Earth had experienced. Beyond nutrition, humans discovered innovative ways to repurpose empty carapaces as ready-made shelters and storage containers. The implications stretch far beyond a single fossil site in Argentina. For nearly a century, the Clovis First theory dominated archaeological thinking like an unshakable foundation. This model proposed that the first Americans arrived around 13,000 years ago, crossing a land bridge from Siberia to Alaska before migrating south through an ice-free corridor. The distinctive fluted spear points found across North America seemed to support this timeline, and archaeologists treated it as scientific gospel. The established benchmark for human settlement in southern South America sat firmly at 16,000 years before present. Researchers considered this timeline virtually unassailable, supported by decades of fieldwork and radiocarbon dating. Any claims of earlier human presence faced intense scrutiny and often dismissal from the archaeological establishment. The Clovis model provided a neat linear narrative that explained the peopling of two entire continents. However, mounting evidence began challenging this comfortable certainty. Sites like Monteverde in Chile pushed back human occupation to 14,500 years ago, while Paisley Caves in Oregon revealed human DNA dating to 14,300 years before present. More recently, 23,000-year-old evidence emerged from Brazil, and footprints in New Mexico revealed human presence ranging from 21,000 toes to 23,000 years old. Each discovery chipped away at the Clovis monopoly, suggesting that human migration patterns were far more complex than previously assumed. The Argentine Glyptodon discovery joins this growing pattern of early sites across the Americas. At 21,000 years before present, this evidence pushes human presence back by a staggering 5,000 years beyond previous southern South American records. The presence of humans in Argentina 21,000 years ago suggests they arrived in South America even earlier than some groups entered North America via land, supporting theories of earlier, perhaps coastal migration routes along the Pacific Rim. These revelations support multiple migration pathways rather than a single corridor model. Groups could have island hopped down the western coastlines of both continents, reaching South America much earlier than overland routes would permit. This find occurs shortly before many of these megafauna became extinct around 10,000 years ago, raising renewed questions about the role of early humans in the extinction of large mammals. This discovery reveals the extraordinary resilience of humans who not only survived but thrived during the extreme climate change of the last glacial maximum. Our ancestors were sophisticated problem solvers who engineered solutions to overcome nature's most perfect defenses, transforming armored giants into essential calories and tools. The 32 cut marks on Argentine Glyptodon bones reveal strategic thinking that demonstrates advanced cognitive abilities far beyond what researchers previously imagined. The 21,000-year timeline fundamentally changes our understanding of American prehistory, demanding new models of migration and settlement patterns. These early humans weren't just enduring Ice Age conditions, they were mastering them through coordinated hunting methods that turned invincible creatures into survival resources. What do you think ultimately drove the Glyptodon to extinction, human hunting pressure, or climate change? Share your thoughts below, because countless discoveries remain buried across the Americas, waiting to rewrite our understanding of human history.